bonjour et bienvenue, or It's Not That Bad podcast. Optimisme movies de optimisme people. That's Simone LaRue.
It's us, c'est Chad Ekowitz.
Ha ha ha! Because your movie today, the main character is French.
He is.
No, he is. So I thought I would do a French thing, and I really battled through it because I thought about it while I was studying, and I was like, I'll do French. So what's the word for hello and welcome? And I was like, okay, I know those words. And then I completely forgot that we do the whole slogan of optimistic movie reviews for optimistic people, and I was like, I don't know any of those words. So it started off with good intentions, just like your film of the day.
I don't know if it even started with good intentions.
It's such a good film. Well, if you've never listened to the podcast before, this is the best podcast in the world, where we discuss 2 movies every week that didn't do so well, and you know what we do? We tell you why they're not that bad. We bring the joy and the happiness into a world that is literally on fire.
Yeah, true. Very true.
What are you doing this week? What film have you donned?
I will be doing the goth icon film, Queen of the Damned.
It's just a beautiful film.
It's a film.
That happened. And I will be doing Angry Birds, the first one from 2016.
I'm so upset I had to watch this movie.
I actually loved it.
I have no plans.
I low-key love this film. I was prepared to hate it, but I actually low-key can really get behind this film. But to discuss who goes first, we go to our first segment. What are you drinking this week, Simone?
It is midday. I still have a lot of work to do. So I'm drinking a nice peppermint tea, half of which I just spilled on myself before recording. And Chad might include a clip of that.
I'm thinking I'll probably either put it right at the beginning or right at the end, just so you guys know that Simone is so very dedicated to this podcast. Like, the woman has now literally...
I've destroyed my thighs. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that's what we do for you.
Yeah.
It's all for you guys. I, along the same vein, have a lot of work to do after this podcast episode recording. So I am drinking a cafe mocha that I made myself. I know. Or is it a mochaccino? Coffee and chocolate. I can't remember.
We're both so fancy today.
It's, you know what? We're trying to live our best lives in sort of a depleted economy.
In like a budget way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we're never going to go out and get coffee. That's crazy money.
No.
Who has that kind of cash? Just disposable income lying around. It's nuts.
No one.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I went first last week. Do you want to go first this week, seeing as we're both non-alcoholic?
Yes, I will go first this week. I wrote a synopsis because I had to.
Oh, good.
I don't think even the scriptwriters truly understood what was happening.
I mean, no, I think they probably just rocked up on set and was like, okay, so you're Lestat, and
and
go.
Rose sobs in the background. Okay. Queen of the Damned follows Lestat, played by Stuart Townsend. You will remember him as the anti-hero character we all know and love from Interview with a Vampire. He has been sleeping for decades because, as all vampires do, he got kind of tired of living. However, he has awakened in the early 2000s to the sound of rock and roll. He promptly rises, finds a band, and immediately becomes a famous rock star who is extremely open about being a vampire, in spite of warnings from absolutely everyone. At the same time, Jessie, played by Marguerite Moreau, becomes intrigued by Lestat's claims and investigates him in her work as one of the Telemasca, which is like a secret society dedicated to documenting and archiving the supernatural. She's shown one of Lestat's diaries from 2 centuries prior, where he details how he was turned into a vampire by Marius, an ancient one, played by Vincent Perez. Lestat was abandoned by Marius, however, when he proved unwilling to stay out of the mortal world. He also discovered the oldest and most ancient vampire queen, Akasha, resting in Marius's basement, and, through the power of violin, earned a sip of her blood. Marius disappears along with the dormant Akasha and her king before Lestat can cause more trouble. Intrigued, Jesse seeks out Lestat at a vampire bar in London, and the two share steamy eye contact for a while before he leaves. She decides to fly to LA and attend his concert in Death Valley. She is warned not to do this because every single vampire in the world is expected to be there to try and kill Lestat because they're really mad at him. We learn that Akasha has risen again when she attacks the same bar in London after our main characters have left. It's unclear what her motives are, but she kills every vampire in the bar.
It's just literally there's no sort of like rhyme or reason to why she would kill all of them.
There's no rhyme or reason to a lot of this. The night before the concert, Jesse and Lestat meet again, and she asks him to turn her into a vampire. Lestat points out how painful that is, and she's like, never mind. At the concert, we see a woman from Jesse's dream sequence from the beginning of the movie, her Aunt Maharet, played by Lena Olin, who is there, along with many other ancient vampires, and instructs them to find Jesse for her safety. Good thing, too, because vampires do begin to attack Lestat on stage, but are destroyed as Akasha appears and takes Lestat away. She takes him to an island where she has killed all of the human inhabitants, and the two make love and exchange blood. Lestat finds that Akasha's blood makes him immune to sunlight. Jessie wakes up in her aunt's home and learns that centuries ago, before her Aunt Maharet was turned into a vampire, she had a daughter. Maharet has followed her family through the generations and always looked out for them, down until Jessie. This is why she was so protective of Jessie at the concert. Maharet and other vampires scheme on how they can kill Akasha, who will destroy most of the Earth's population in her quest for power and her bloodlust. Akasha appears with Lestat in tow and, noticing a spark between him and Jessie, instructs Lestat to drink her blood and almost to the point of death. Jessie, who is now ready for immortality, says, absolutely, go for it. Lestat then turns on Akasha and begins drinking her blood, making her weak enough for other vampires to attack too. Maharet sacrifices herself to strike the killing blow and turns into a white statue, while Akasha crumbles into dust. The movie ends by showing us that Jessie has been turned into a vampire and she walks into eternity holding hands with Lestat.
Beautiful. Just beautiful from start to finish. This is Twilight. Can we just acknowledge that this is the original Twilight?
Just like
because he's all like,
yeah.
I'm super dangerous for you, I shouldn't be around you, and she's like, no, but I can fix you.
Drippy female character.
Yeah, so, I think a lot of sort of Twilight was clearly taken from this movie. I feel like Stephanie Meyer just sat there with a pen and paper and was just like, yes,
she never read the
this
books,
is good.
she just watched the movie. She's like, but what if it was in high school?
Delicious.
So, I don't know if you read the books, the Anne Rice Chronicle, or Vampire Chronicles books.
I've only read Interview with a Vampire. I haven't read the rest of them.
So, I read all of them because I was, a wannabe goth kid for most of my adolescence.
Of course.
And the studio, I forget which studio this was, they basically acquired the rights to the first 3 books, which is Interview with the Vampire, The Vampire Lestat, and Queen of the Damned. And instead of doing 3 movies, they decided to condense Vampire Lestat, which has a lot of very important lore and backstory in it, into Queen of the Damned, and make a hybrid movie, which is why none of this movie makes any fucking sense.
Right. Okay. So sort of not to quiz you on it or anything, but what sort of lore did we miss out on in this beautiful
it's a lot
film?
more about Lestat's background and him being a vampire, and then all the stuff with how Akasha became the original vampire and why they're so powerful. Books also go obviously into a lot more detail about her motivations around the rest of destroying the world, what her actual plan is, and then on top of that it goes into Maharet's sort of backstory and why it's so interesting and important, and all of those side characters that don't have any names but are clearly old and important. It goes into them too. Yeah,
because that felt very sort of forced in this one. You knew Maharet a bit because of the weird prelogue to the thing, and then it was just okay, I'm hoping this will be explained later, and then it just kind of doesn't really. I mean, it's oh, we're family and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, well that's a shame. I feel like they obviously did a reverse Lord of the Rings or the reverse Hobbit. So instead of actually making 3 movies that they should have made, they made 1 essentially.
And Anne Rice hated it.
Well, to be fair, I mean, she rightly so, but she also hated Interview with the Vampire up until the point where she actually watched it, and then she was like, yeah, I actually realized this is actually really good.
I checked. She said she has watched it once and does not intend to do it ever again, so...
That woman is such a
She's so
lovely
sassy.
human. I appreciate her. I've never seen a picture of her, but I can just imagine that she's got like purple hair and wears these like really thick rimmed glasses.
Oh, I used to follow her on, like, I think I still follow her on Facebook. She kind of posts, like, your aunt, you know? Like, like, it's really cute. Because, you know, she's, like, after she wrote these books, a while later she found Jesus.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so kind of interesting. But she's got, like, she's left her hair gray, because she's, like, obviously a lot older now, and she's got bangs. And she's just real cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great. Does she still run the Vampire's Ball?
Yeah, every single year.
Ah, that's so great. We'll link off to that, but yeah, basically every year in New Orleans, Anne Rice throws a vampire ball, and it's like impossible to get tickets. But if you do get tickets, oh my god,
Apparently it's bomb.
like I definitely want to go one day
Yeah.
if I can ever get the opportunity.
Bucket list for sure.
One of the very first things I noticed about this film is how much Lestat looks like Keira Knightley, and I just couldn't get it out of my head.
And he kind of does. I liked Stuart Townsend for this. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
I think he was perfect.
I
Yeah.
think all of the casting was pretty solid. Like, the script writing was just...
Oh, so bad.
I mean...
Oh man.
Wow.
But then again, you know, it was early 2000s, which apparently means everyone likes metal music. Just always. Just every human being on the planet during the 2000s loved metal. It's just kind of the rule.
Yeah. Okay, so I have some fun facts about the music in this.
Yes!
Okay, so the singing voice of Lestat was supplied by Jonathan Davis from Korn.
I thought it was.
However, I'm reading straight off the IMDb page. However, due to contractual difficulties, Davis could not sing on the soundtrack album release. So the 5 songs written by he and Richard Gibbs for the movie were then performed on the album by Marilyn Manson, Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, David Draymond of Disturbed, Wayne Static of Static X, and Jay Gordon of Orgy. Davis is still allowed to play several instruments on the album, though.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a pretty, like, bomb album.
Yeah,
If that's the kind of music you're into, I think.
Yeah, I would probably go and buy that album. I wouldn't want to sort of walk into a music store and be like, can I please have the Queen of the Damned OST, please? That sounds like the worst fucking idea on the planet.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
upon saying that and talking about the music, this film, to me, and this sort of goes into my scene that could have saved it, but this film would have been so much better in my mind if it was a musical about the rise and fall of his band.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
How great would that be? Just like it opens with music, and then immediately speaks about him joining a band.
Yeah.
And I would have just, if this was more like The Dirt
Yeah.
or Bohemian Rhapsody, and we just get like a really cool musical movie with the
And kind
stuff.
of a metal musical would be so fun.
Yeah, and it would be,
No.
then you don't really care about the dialogue because you know the dialogue is going to be terrible anyway. So yeah, I immediately thought it was going to be a musical, and then I was
Yeah.
very disappointed when it wasn't. So that's a thing. But I'm really glad to hear that sort of, you know,
Yeah.
Disturbed was involved as well, because in that Death Valley scene, obviously
Yeah.
Disturbed opened.
Yeah.
It's hinted that Disturbed opened for them.
That's so fun.
Which I think is great, because
I
they're bigger
love
than
that Chester
Disturbed.
Bennington was involved in it. Like, and apparently the concert scene
Yeah.
was actually filmed in Australia. And like the trivia page says this, that they recruited 3,000 goths from Australia to be extras in this scene.
That's such a great thing to call them.
And they had like an actual like concert basically that these people had to react to and stuff. And I mean, it must have been fucking freezing
Yeah.
in the desert at night and stuff. But yeah, apparently it was all real. Like, it wasn't CGI concert goers.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
there are so many cool aspects to this movie and the making of this movie. I just wish that they'd put as much effort into the script or into making another movie.
Yeah. I mean, I love that fact that the realism aspect of things. I mean, I prefer films that are more realistic, even if they look worse. You know, the fact, you know, to speak about a good movie, you know, in The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan actually flipped that 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
It wasn't CGI. And I love ideas like that. That's why I'm, like, kind of against the new Jurassic Park films, because they're just all CGI, where the originals, you know,
they're
there
so
was CGI,
impressive.
obviously, but a lot of it was puppets and things. And that's what makes it impressive. So it's really nice to hear that they got 3,000 of Australia's finest goths and brought them out to see Lestat's fantastic band.
And then we were talking about this earlier, but like, just how if you're a vampire, you immediately have to become goth. Like,
yes.
You can't just enjoy comfortable clothing.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. You exclusively have to shop for corsets and leather. It must be exhausting to constantly also, like, to be that sexually charged all the time.
Especially Anne Rice's vampires can't actually have, like, intercourse.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Maybe that is why they're always so sexually charged.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be because, like, the novels are inherently kind of erotic, and it's supposed to be, like, the eroticism of, like, darkness and night and stuff.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, like, they can't really have sex.
That is such a shame. I feel for them now.
Apparently drinking blood is better, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that scene where, like you said in your synopsis, where Lestat and Akasha are, like, having sex and eating each other. Like, I mean, like, a little bit of light biting, I'm all for it. Like, in the throes of passion. Yeah. But to, like, draw blood and, like...
I mean...
How is that ever sexy?
Look... Apparently for them. Also, like, I just keep thinking that, like, somebody must have run that bath for them. Like, the one with all the rose petals and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, someone had to do that. Did they do it? Were they sitting there awkwardly, like, on the side of the bath, just like, waiting for it to fill up and, like, sprinkling the rose petals in? Where did they get the petals?
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense, logistically speaking. That's great. I want to see that scene where they're just, like, waiting around.
Sitting and thinking about all of the scenes that must have happened in the background of these movies. Because Akasha, like, shows up at the bar in London, right? But we don't know where or how. Like, how did she find out about the bar? How did she find out what a bar is?
Uh-huh.
And then, like, did she walk in? Like, did she walk there? I know she can fly, but she must have walked at some point. And, like, did she have a map?
Because it's London. It's not Egypt.
Exactly. It was, like, freezing cold, and she's walking around in her cool, hypersexual Egyptian clothes. I have so many questions.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like, I would love to see the bit where Jessie's, like, purchasing the tickets for Death Valley and she can't get any, so she has to go and, like, find, you know, a scalper on the night, and it's just really hard for her to get into the concert.
And she's,
and
like,
she gets
trying
finally
to get the Talamasca to compensate her for the tickets.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's research.
And they're like... and they're just like, no, we didn't sanction this trip, but we'll pay your petrol. And she's, like, battling to get to the front because she's, like, 5'2".
13E form.
That's great. That would have been a better film and more realistic than this one.
And Akasha waiting under the stage for the perfect moment to, like, burst out.
To burst out. Yeah, how did she get from London to Australia then as well? Was she on a flight? Because that's quite a long flight.
So the filming was in Australia, but technically the concert took place in Death Valley in California.
LA. Yeah. Okay, well, even so, that's still a flight. She's just, like, chilling there with her her hypersexual costume just on a flight, and she's like, asked for the vegan menu.
Where did she change outfits?
Yeah. But you're so right. Like, it's the production value of that festival, of that show at Death Valley just went up like 1,000% when the other vampires decided to attack him. Like, his marketing skills are genius. Like, Lestat is the ultimate marketer, because he was just like, I'll use the one thing that is just a natural possession of mine, which is my vampiricism, and then I'll get 1 million vampires to attack me, which will be fine. And then Akasha comes out and she just fucking explodes everyone.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's perfect for his band. The rest of the band just hightail it out of there so they're safe.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I did write it down that Lestat is to his band what Brendan Urie is to the Panic at the Disco.
All the talent.
Yeah, it's when you talk about Panic at the Disco, you're not talking about Panic at the Disco, are you? You're talking about Brendan Urie, which is such a shame. But yeah, so I fucking thought this movie was great. I thought they really just played fast and loose with the rules of a vampire with Akasha. They were just like, she's the first vampire, so why wouldn't she be able to go out into the sun? Why couldn't she just explode vampires with her magic? You know?
In all fairness, she can. Like, there are reasons for that, but obviously they don't go into it at all.
I mean, without those reasons, it just kind of seems absurd.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. So what was your scene that could have saved this gorgeous film?
I don't know, anything that makes Jesse, like, mildly more interesting.
I mean,
like,
so boring.
You literally don't understand, like, why he's attracted to her. Like, she's got a cute nose, I guess, and great hair.
Yeah, I mean, she's a redhead, and that's always nice because of blood. Blood is also
Clearly
red.
Not a real redhead, the actress.
Ooh, was a
Like,
tasty bit of shade there.
Yeah, just anything, because, you know, they're, like, so intensely attracted to one another, but all she does is, like, mumble at him and be like, I read your diary, and I inferred things, and he's like, oh my, like, I mean, I get why she's attracted to him, he's a very sexy man, but, like,
Yeah.
What's going on? And now they're gonna, like, spend eternity together, presumably, or whatever? Why?
Yeah, I mean, she acts like super. Her whole personality also changes when she becomes a vampire. That's kind of insinuated at the end there. Like, so if he liked her for her original mumbly personality, that's just gone out the window completely. So why would he still be interested in her?
It's, again, very Twilight.
Yeah, extremely Twilight. But I feel like vampires sort of play by the rules of polyamory. Like, I do not feel like a vampire would stay in a monogamous relationship.
No, I mean, you know, like, you live forever. So, like, you could literally, like, hang out for 20 years and be like, I'm done. Are you done? And then,
Can we
like,
just
get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the joys about... I think living forever would just get really boring after a while, but... I do feel...
I'd totally nap for a decade or so. Like,
How great would that be? Like, we don't get any rest now, so at least, like, I think a good 100 years sleep would be pretty perfect, actually.
Bomb. You wake up and you're like, what's happening?
Yeah, let's, you know, what is this awesome new music? Is that Korn? Am I pronouncing that right? Korn? Yeah? Fun. Yeah, everyone's wearing leather, so you fit right in.
Oh my god, I've been goth for centuries.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely perfect. Oh, man. Yeah, as I alluded to before, my scene is that this would have been so much better as a musical.
Yeah.
This...
I 100% agree.
And I do believe there was a Interview with a Vampire musical. I think that's a fact.
Oh, really?
I'm not 100% sure.
Sounds amazing. I wouldn't be surprised.
But if I can find a link to it, I will include it in the footnotes, as well as the Vampire Ball, just so people can go and, you know, look at how amazing this ball is, and hopefully if there is a musical, find it. So we can all enjoy it together as a community.
Yeah, that's honestly my dream. Like, it's my bucket list. I want to go to that ball.
It'll be
just
amazing.
Let my inner goth kid freak out.
Yeah. If we make it to Podfest next year and the balls at the same time, we'll hop from Florida to New Orleans.
I think it's Halloween every year.
I mean, that would make sense. So, I mean, very different times. March and
I believe
October.
it is, but I'll double check. Well, I mean, footnotes.
Footnotes, yeah. Okay, well, tell me about this great director. I'm so excited.
So, our man is Michael Reimer.
Okay.
You will have seen some of his work. He directs a lot of series. So he directed a bunch of episodes of Haunted, the 2002 series.
Okay, yeah.
Flash Forward in 2009, which I really enjoyed.
Okay.
Battlestar Galactica, a couple episodes. Face to Face, some American Horror Story episodes.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
A bunch of episodes of Hannibal.
Ooh, that's cool.
And then episodes of Jessica Jones, among many other things.
That's awesome. Okay.
He also he's a producer of Hannibal.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, he's done a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, you can't really fault him, to be honest.
No.
I mean, he's clearly, I mean, to be fair, the casting in this film is great. The characters are great. It's, a lot of it is just let down by the script writing.
Yeah. And I think that was fully, like, the producers and the studio being like, no, you know, we're not going to make a second movie. It all has to make sense in one movie, which is really hard.
Yeah.
Like, I remember The Vampire Lestat is tough to get through because it's, like, so much background and, like, information. It took me a good amount of time to finish it.
Wow, okay, fair enough. And then they just completely left it out. And I mean, this film isn't particularly long. It's like hour 45, I think. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there was so much sort of... if we compare it to the sort of the 2 hours and 16 minutes of Valerian, where just so much exposition was imposed on you.
Yeah.
That's sort of the danger here in the opposite way, where they just left out so much information.
Yeah, and you're like, But then who, like, what?
Why? Yeah. Who are these people? The king is hardly mentioned. All you see is, like, a single shot of his, like, throat ripped out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay.
And you're like, then why include him?
Yeah. Watching this movie reminded me so much of Robin Sparkles from How I Met Your Mother when she turned goth.
Oh my god.
Right?
You're not wrong.
Like, every time Lestat got up to sing, all I saw was just Robin Sparkles and that stupid song, P.S. I Love You.
Oh my god.
Which...
I'd forgotten about that, and I'm so excited.
It's so great.
Link
We
to
will.
it in the footnotes.
P.S. I Love You. Oh, man, that song. I mean, that was... How I Met Your Mother is an odd show, because half of it's really good, and then half of it's really bad, and you just don't know how to feel.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, oh my god, that's a funny joke, and then other times you're like, oh no.
Yeah. We should do season 10 for this podcast, except for the fact that we agreed that we would never do an entire season of anything ever again.
Please, Chad. I'm not made of time.
Maybe when we've, made it through this tough patch and the podcast is making us money and all we have is time.
Yeah.
And we can just sit down and watch it all day, every day.
And you can help make that happen. Please rate and subscribe on iTunes.
There you go. Perfect segue into making it
Boom.
Yes, that's how it works, everyone. If you don't understand the economics of podcasts, as Simone said, rate us, give us 5 stars, subscribe, write us comments. Then people will see us more. Then we'll grow even bigger. And then advertisers will be like, hey, can we advertise with your podcast? And we'll go, yes, for £50,000. Absolutely, we'll say what you want us to say on the podcast for 30 seconds.
We'll quit our day jobs. We'll give you all the content that you want.
Exactly. Then we can quit our day jobs. We can do this exclusively for you guys. It'll be fun. Just how you can make us rich by just clicking 5 stars. Do it,
please, guys.
Please, because both of us hate
Anyway, tell us about Angry Birds.
I will tell you all about the Angry Birds. Here we go, everyone. Plot synopsis. Red, played by Jason Sudeikis, has anger issues. He is also a bird. One could say, in summation, that he is an angry bird. The film opens with Red delivering a cake for a baby bird's birthday party. He is late, the bird dad is mad, and won't pay for it. So Red throws the cake in his face and, in the skirmish that follows, ends up falling on an egg, prematurely hatching a chick. The next day, in bird court, he is sentenced to attend anger management classes. At anger management class, Red meets Chuck, played by Josh Gad, Bomb, played by Danny McBride, and Terrence, played by Sean Penn. Sometime later, from a far distant land, a legion of green pigs arrive to the bird's island. The lead pig, Leonard, played by Bill Hader, says he comes in peace and wishes to share his inventions with the birds. These inventions include, of course, a giant slingshot. Red is a bit weary of the pigs and doesn't trust their motives. He believes the only person who can help him protect Bird Island is the Mighty Eagle, played by Peter Dinklage. The Mighty Eagle is the only bird who can fly. Yeah, it's great. It's so wonderful. When you find that information out, the movie just becomes 1,000 times better. So, the Mighty Eagle is the only bird who can fly and has been heralded as the protector of justice and peace on the island. Unfortunately, when Red, Chuck, and Bomb go to visit the Mighty Eagle, he isn't so mighty anymore. He's gotten fat, lazy, and just doesn't really want to help anymore. Turns out, Red was right all along. The pigs are pulling the old bait and switch. They throw a massive party for the birds, and while that's going down, the other pigs are stealing all of the birds' eggs. You see, for the pigs, eggs are apparently the most delicious delicacy, and so they want to steal them to throw a massive feast. The pigs escape with all the eggs, they destroy Bird Island, and everyone is incredibly sad. Even though they have shunned him up to this point, all the birds apologize to Red and seek his help. He comes up with a plan to sail over to Pig Island, use the slingshot to infiltrate the castle, and rescue the eggs before they are cooked and eaten. As you can guess, the next few scenes follow the mobile game pretty well. The different birds have different powers and all cause excessive damage to the pig city. Eventually, Red, Chuck, and Bomb infiltrate the castle and locate the eggs. Hijinks ensue, the Mighty Eagle repents for his slovenliness by coming to the rescue, and the gang save the day. They are able to rescue all the eggs while additionally decimating the entire population of Pig Island. They travel home, and Red is no longer ostracized. The end.
Yep.
Look.
So these birds did commit genocide. Like, we're all on the same page, right?
Look, this movie is actually surprisingly heavy, if you think about it. For a kids'
Yes.
film, there is genocide. There is infanticism. Is that what it's called? Where you kill babies?
Infanticide.
Yeah, infanticide. You know, Red in like the first 15 minutes, like it's hinted at before that baby comes out of the egg that he murders that chick. That's the immediate thing that I thought straight away.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's genocide, but baby killing, fucking whatever the giant fucking bird Sean
Red bird did, yeah.
And also, can we talk about the fact that Sean Penn probably got paid like $1 million to go all the time?
Yeah. Life is fair.
How is that not the biggest injustice of this film? It's yeah. I thought it was very cute. Apart from the genocide and apart from the baby killing, I thought it was a really, really cute film. I may have shed a tear at the end.
What?
Yeah, when Red gets brought back.
I felt no emotion.
No emotion whatsoever. Nothing touched your heart.
No. I'm sorry.
Look, I mean, you can't make someone feel something. I'm just, you know. What was it that from this film that you didn't enjoy then? Like what was it that took it away from you for you?
I don't know. Like, it was fine. It was a perfectly acceptable children's movie. It had a couple of butt jokes, like a weird amount of butt jokes, but like.
Yeah, no, I've got to agree with you. Like, some of the jokes I was just like, okay. Like, the eagle peeing in the lake thing just went on for far too long.
That was a little funny. I loved Josh Gad in this.
So good.
I always think he's so funny.
Oh, he's such a great actor. And the character that he played is so,
Perfect.
So funny. I love the fact that Peter Dinklage was the Mighty Eagle.
Perfect. Also.
That was amazing.
Excellent.
The fact that, is it Mr. Key from the Key and Peele team was the owl judge?
Who played the therapist bird?
Oh, I'm not too sure. Give me 1 second. I'll have a look.
I was
Because
trying
she
to
was
place
great.
the voice.
She was great as well. It was Matilda, yeah? I think
Yeah,
that's
I guess.
the bird's name. It was Maya Rudolph. Of course it was.
Oh, I thought Maya
Of
Rudolph
course
was
it was.
playing the crossing guard.
Okay, hold on.
don't
'Cause I
know.
might be
I'm
wrong.
Sorry.
No, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, your favourite human being was in this film as well. I just want to point that out to you.
Who?
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon is so funny.
She had a very minor role, but she was in this, which is great. I do believe, from my understanding of this, and like they've all got names. Like apparently Matilda is a name. Kate McKinnon's character was called Stella, and she was also Eva, the birthday mom. I don't know any of these characters, so I'm gonna go with Maya Rudolph was the anger therapist. I'm gonna say
Whatever,
it was her.
love it. Maya Rudolph's also hilarious.
They had a really good cast for this. Jason Sudeikis is
Yeah.
perfect in that role.
Yeah. No, the casting, I think, was really good. Like, again, it was just a perfectly fine movie that you set your kids down in front of, and you occasionally look up from your phone and watch, too.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair assumption on it. I mean, it's never going to be sort of Toy Story level, but it's not like awful.
Yeah.
You know, I will say that the adult jokes in it weren't great.
No.
Josh Gad says something about having sex, and I was like, well, this feels inappropriate because it's not subtle enough to be exclusively an adult
No.
joke.
There are a lot of sex jokes, and I was like, I don't think these are all going to go over kids' heads.
Yeah, exactly, and that just doesn't feel right to me. I think sex jokes in kids' films should be really, really subtle, and it was just that was a bit sad.
I mean, that said, we did also grow up watching Johnny Bravo, which, and we all turned out okay.
I mean, most of us, you know, I'm pretty sure Johnny Bravo helped with the whole, you know, inequality between men and women.
What? Are you saying it was misogynistic?
I mean, look, hot take. Although, like, look, it was supposed to be satirical. Clearly it was supposed to be satirical, but I think the message got lost somehow.
Look, say what you will, but when women say no, he backs off.
That's nice, yeah, which is, like, you can't say that for a lot of men. Yeah. Oh, that's something I wanted to discuss, actually. Completely tangential, but hey, that's why you come to this podcast. You know how we said for the 50 Shades of Grey episode, you know, it's got to be safe, sane, and consensual.
Yeah.
So I heard a phrase that was really, really good the other day while listening to another podcast that I listened to. Enthusiastic consent.
Yes.
I think that is incredibly important. We say consent, fine, but sometimes consent is sort of just like to placate people.
Yeah, you're just like, ugh, fine, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not great. No, neither party really wants,
No.
okay, let's just do it. You know, you want, like, a very forwarded...
heck yes!
Yeah, heck yes. Is that what you say when Rudy comes at you?
I will not disclose any of that information.
Rudy chucks on, you know, I don't want to live forever by Zayn.
Yeah, that starts playing and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yes.
Heck yes, Rudy.
And then we sing a beautiful duet.
Ah, that's lovely. Heck yes, I can get behind that. But yeah, so that's our new lesson. Not just safe, sane, and consensual. Safe, sane, and enthusiastic consent.
Yes.
There you go. New message for you guys. Oh, and you heard it here first.
There you go, guys.
I'm sure. There you go. So, what is your scene that could have saved this film?
I would have liked to see more of the birds doing their Angry Birds thing, like in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end when they're storming the castle. Like, that was really fun. It would have been more fun, because I just feel like it sort of happened at the very end, when there was a lot of plot that I didn't care about.
Yeah, that's really, really true. And I mean, sort of, if you think about it deeply enough, the message is that it's always better to be angry, because they're a really, really peaceful, they're a really peaceful population. He's the only angry bird.
Mm-hmm.
They try to get him to stop being angry, which is really, like, super healthy.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, no, I was right the whole time. You're all a bunch of idiots. And they're like, yeah, okay, let's commit genocide.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible message to be teaching our kids, actually.
I mean, I guess you could look at it like they just say, like, being angry sometimes is okay, because you can't be happy all the time. But, yeah, I guess that wasn't really the message at all.
Yeah.
Those little kitty birds singing at the end, though, was real cute.
That was adorable.
Like, I mean, I'm not made of stone.
I knew something would have melted your heart. You're...
Oh, when they do their little angry faces.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's cute. I mean, I laughed at places. Yeah, it was perfectly acceptable as a kid's film. I can get behind that.
Just fine.
Yeah. For me, my scene that could have saved it was just better adult jokes, as I've mentioned before. Like, I just want really subtle hints, and there were, like, some really nice subtle hints to the game. You know, when they mentioned the rating of 3 stars thing, I thought that was really adorable. And just a little bit more time thinking about your jokes, and I would have been behind it. Like 100%. Yeah.
So, tell me about this director.
Ooh, directors this time.
Oh.
And this is a really, really exciting one as well. So, you've got 2 directors, Clay Cadis and Fergal Riley. Now, as far as I remember, and I will click on their names again, thank you again, IMDb. So both of these guys are really, really new to the game in terms of directing. So this is the first and only movie that Fergal Riley has ever directed. And then this was Clay Curtis's first movie, and then he did The Christmas Chronicles afterwards. So he's only done 2 films where Fergal Riley, this is their only film. But both have incredible animation department credits. So for Clay Curtis, he's got Frozen, he was an animator for, Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, Super Rhino, Bolt, Meet the Robertsons, Chicken Little, Home on the Range, Treasure Planet, Emperor's New Groove, Fantasia, Tarzan, Mulan, Hercules, Hunchback, and
How old is he?
He actually looks flippin' young, but he was born... It doesn't tell. But he looks really, really young. Yeah, it doesn't want to tell me. It's just like, no, you don't get to know. He's eternal, clearly. He never ages. He's going to be around forever. And I really hope that I see a lot more movies of him. But yeah, and then you've got Fergal Riley, who was in the art department for Hotel Transylvania, The Smurfs, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Open Season, Longest Yard, Spider-Man 2, with Tobey Maguire, which is amazing. The Haunted Mansion, Stuart Little 2, Iron Giant, Space Jam. So, you know, both of them have a hell of a lot of experience when it comes to animation. So, the fact that they were both chosen for this film is completely understandable. And I think they did a really good job, you know.
The animation was also really good.
Yeah, the water scenes, the water looked amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they did a really bang-up job. This is their first film, and, you know, straight out the bat, they did a really good job. And they should feel proud of themselves.
They should.
Yeah, so well done, gentlemen. Very proud of you.
Yeah. We wish you both the best, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and, you know, don't teach kids to be angry and commit genocide. That's how we got into this method in the first place. So, there you have it, Simone. Tell me.
We've done it.
What are you excited for? Do the thing of excitement.
So, obviously, a lot of trailers came out this week.
Uh-huh.
And it was tricky to pick one. But I immediately am very excited about The Perfection.
Okay, I don't think I saw this trailer.
So, The Perfection is going to star Allison Williams, who we know very well from Get Out.
Okay. Oh, she's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a psychological thriller horror movie, so I'm already extremely excited. And it has your girl from Dear White People,
Ooh.
Logan Browning.
She's amazing. Ah, what a great cast.
Yeah, the trailer looks absolutely fucking terrifying.
Awesome.
I am so excited for this. It comes out next month, and I cannot wait.
What's it called? The Perfection?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna go check out this trailer.
Watch the trailer,
and obviously
it will give you chills.
Awesome. I mean, we obviously will include this in the footnotes, but yeah, very, very excited for that. I don't actually have a movie that I hate this week. I couldn't actually find one, to be honest. But I want to talk about a movie that I wanted to hate, but then I watched the trailer and I was like, God damn it, this looks amazing.
What movie?
Fast and Furious presents Hub and Shaw. I really wanted to hate it. I really, really did. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, I'm gonna go see this in the cinema.
So, confession time. Rudy and I were exhausted from socializing a couple days ago. So, one night we watched Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, great film.
And then we watched Fast and Furious 4, which is just Fast and Furious.
Right.
And those movies, like, we'll cover them again. Because here's the thing. They're dumb, but they're so fun to watch. I think also because, Rudy's always, like, so thrilled to be watching them. But, like, they're just so silly.
They are. They're really, really silly. And what I love about them is as they go on, like, it tries to really push this central message that family is super important, but it's all under the guise of cars exploding and that racing is kind of the most important thing in the universe.
Yeah.
And what's even more important is how the first two are about cars, and then by the 9th one, we're, like, blowing up submarines.
Yeah. It's a logical progression.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love it. It's just kind of like, it gives you the idea that to make friends, you have to beat them in a car race.
I mean, that's how you and I became
friends. And then
friends.
you're all besties. Yeah, that's actually, not many people know this, but Chad and I met and immediately raced cars down the streets of Cape Town. I won't say who won, but we're friends now.
So there you go. It was actually, it was a case where you and I were racing, and our third friend, Dan, was like, whoever wins gets to keep me, very much like the Tokyo Drift thing. Yeah. And we were like, oh, well, I mean, we can share you, to be fair, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, I think from watching the trailer, this looks like a hilarious film, and I'm gonna love every second, because The Rock is great.
Yeah.
The other guy is great, whose name's completely...
Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason Statham, his name completely escaped me there. Jason Statham's gonna be amazing in this as well. And yeah, really, really excited for this. And there's nothing, like, I really wanted to dislike it, because it's like the 4,000th film in this franchise. But I can't. I just can't. So yeah. This week is an incredibly optimistic week in terms of films. So yeah, and then and I guess on that weird note, we're done with that bit. Woo woo.
Woo.
Bow, bow, bow. So tell me, what are you doing next week?
I had a memory of watching a Three Musketeers movie that came out when I was a teenager. And I looked it up, and I'm gonna do it. It's 2011's The Three Musketeers. It has gotten 1.5 stars on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's painful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I'm thrilled.
I mean, all for one and one for all.
Hell yeah.
Gotta love it. I'm excited about that.
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna hate me.
Oh god.
Scary movie too.
Chad! Are we going down this road?
Look, it's, for some reason, it was that or you don't mess with the Zohan.
No! There are so many other things we could do. Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just so much hate.
I cannot emphasize how much I don't want to watch Scary Movie 2. But I'm gonna.
Some say that it is the finest piece of National Lampoon style movie ever made.
Who says that?
Some. You know,
I mean,
it's out of we'll discuss it next week, but out of all the scary movies, I feel like this is the only good one.
It's a low bar. I understand that we're doing an audio medium, so people cannot see the dismay on my face. But rest assured, everyone, she's there.
Oh, she's not very happy with me. I mean, this podcast has almost broken friendships before, and it might do it now. Who knows? Because I haven't watched this movie in so long. It's probably the most problematic film.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. What is? I feel like it's Tim Curry's best work, but we'll go over it.
What? Tim Curry's in it?
Oh yeah, Tim Curry is in it.
Good lord.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Right. Well,
On that
we've done
note.
it yet again, Simone. How are you? How's this week been?
I'm good. My parents left this morning. I've spent the last week being able to spend time with them and eating. So that was really fun. I have a lot of work to catch up on now, and I'm nervous. I woke up in a sweat last night thinking about it.
Wow. I mean, you know, look, you had fun.
And now I gotta pay for it.
Now it's back to the sad reality.
Other update. My dreams have come true because it's cold enough now that my cats need our body heat. So they've started snuggling us at night, and I love it so much.
That's so magical.
Amazing.
I'm so happy for you.
Granted, it is hard to fit 2 humans and 2 cats on a double bed. I slept in an S shape last night, but it's fine because I love them both so much, and they're so cute.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to move for your cats. They don't move for you. That's the rule.
Yeah.
So yeah. Aw, I'm so glad. You know, dreams and goals have come true. Dreams can come true, baby. And so on.
Wow.
And so forth. That was the perfect rendition. Yeah, you're welcome.
And how are you, Chad?
I am on the edge of oblivion. No, I'm doing okay. I'm just, you know, full on exam stress times. So you know, it's stressful, but you know, it's two more weeks and then I'm done, and I'm really excited for it to be done. Just studying all the time. But this weekend, going to see Avengers, super exciting.
Yes.
So excited for Avengers. So that's always something to look forward to. Yeah. So there you have it, everyone. Tell us where they can find us. Tell them where they can find us. Do the speaky thing, please.
So people can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at It's Not That Bad One. No, Facebook and Twitter at It's Not That Bad One, and on Instagram at It's Not That Bad Podcast, and they can email us at It's Not That Bad Podcast at gmail.com. And if they want to, they can follow me on Instagram at simone.le.roux. Where can they find you?
They can find me also on Instagram and Twitter at chatsby1993. That's CHADSBY 1993. And yeah, you know what you need to do? You need to go onto iTunes, onto your local podcasting app, onto Spotify. Go find those stars, go and click all the way up to 5. Then what you're going to do is take your little fingers or your big fingers, I don't know what your vibe is, and right on that keyboard say, hey, it is really good, or whatever you want to say in a very positive manner, and then hit that enter button or send button, whatever the app says, and we'll really appreciate it, you guys, seriously. And you know what? Thank you very much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. It means a whole lot of everything to both of us that you guys listen to our little fun podcast. And
Yes, it does.
as we say at the end of every episode, we love you,
and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye.
Goodbye! My stuff.
And it's your turn to start this week, I think.
It is, and I've got an adorable thing that I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Seeing as well, you'll immediately understand why I'm gonna do it. But what am I doing? Angry Birds. Oh no, you spilt your drink. Go sort it out.
Ow, motherfucker! It was tea.
Are you okay? Oh no! Oh
Okay,
Jesus!
it's peppermint tea, but my god!
The scolding.
Oh, okay, I'm fine. and the beat goes on.
Somebody once told me. Do you not want to go get like a wet cloth or something?
No, it's fine. I'm part of this artistry now. Oh my god.
Oh god.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just a first-degree burn on my thigh. Like, it's okay.
Do you want to go get more tea? I don't...
No. There's still a bunch in the pot. It was a full pot.
Jesus! It was in the pot still? Oh, Simone! It's okay. It's okay. Breathe. We'll take time.
Let nobody doubt my dedication to this podcast.